Hey, what's up, Tamers? It's Dev from DevsUtopia here, and we welcome to the 13th episode of Tamer Talk. And we are have a special guest with us. Digi-Panda is joining me and Fluky as we talk about EX3 leaks in this very special episode, our second episode to have any form of collabs with any other Digituber. Say hi.
Hi, thank you very much, Des, for having me on on the channel.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm pretty sure a lot of my viewers can probably remember that we've collabed before and everything, but this time
Mhm.
we want to just try to talk as much as possible. And I think they're getting tired of me and Fluky's voice all the time. We just want to just change it up a little bit, give them someone else to listen to, get
Spice
another
it up on the
opinion.
channel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So again, for the weekly recap and everything, we're talking about Dragonic Roar or Dragon's Roar, EX3. Uh, It's basically, I think it's almost done with a lot of the reveals because we're now in the stages of just showing alternate art. So I think it's completely
hmm
done.
hmm
Um, so we are just going to go over rares and above. Fluky, are you still there? Or
Yes,
did
I'm
you
still
fall
here. I'm
asleep
just
on me? Oh,
listening.
okay.
No, 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 not yet, not yet, not yet.
Not yet, not yet. Okay. All right. It's good to know. Good to know. Um, and yeah, no, like Dragon's War, just focusing on a lot of Dromon cards and everything. And the first one that we're going to go over is the option card Avalon's Gate. So blue and green have finally came back together. Well, this time with other Digimon other than just Imperial Dramon, so that's what I'm happy about. And the card reads, it is a three-cost option card that is all blue and green, meaning you need both colors to use it. And the main effect says, resolve one of the following effects. If you have a Digimon Exomon in its name, resolve all of the following effects instead. And the effects read, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and one of your Digimon gains piercing for the turn. And then the second effect says, unsuspend one of your Digimon. And the security effect reads, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and unsuspend one of your Digimon. So to be honest, when I saw this card immediately, I was like, man, finally, we can make sure blockers are useful if we ever use blockers again, other than Leomon.
hmm
And I honestly prefer option cards that reference Digimon or just basically say like, hey, do you have this Digimon? They check to see because it's like a lot of people like tribal decks in
hmm
general.
hmm
I just feel like giving these tribal decks some certain cards that will pertain to them instead of it being Agumon, Gabumon, Demon. I feel
Right.
like this is a breath of fresh air. What do you guys think?
There are a lot of Digimon out there in the Digimon franchise in general. And with Avalon's Gate, first of all, I thought, cool, we got Exomon. And when I first saw the reveal for it, I thought, why is this not red blue? Because it's a DNA Digivolution of Break Dramon and Slayer Dramon,
Yeah.
and both those cards, first appeared in red and blue. And in my mind, I'm like, why would you flip flop it to green suddenly? It's kind of like the Tyrannomon support that we've seen, where they sprinkle it in one color, then they go to another color. Overall, I can understand why they went this direction. I also thought, if in hindsight, if this was a red blue option card, the unsuspend effect, one of your Digimon, is definitely something that is characteristic of blue. But what would you do for something with red? Would it be something like deletion, like delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less? I still think green is typically one of the weaker colors when it comes to removal. So when it comes
Mm.
to utilizing this card, you have to have Exomon already on the field. You have to have a memory fixer to spend that 3 memory to tap down something, and then you can pierce over it with your Exomon.
I feel as if basically like you said in everything, the blue effect is the second one, the unsuspend. But if it was red, right, I think it would be something very simple of like security attack plus or um what's it called? Gain DP, this, that, and the other. I
Yeah, I was thinking. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying green needs to pick me up because I feel like green has been underperforming for a while ever since it got hit. Well, ever since it became the first color to be on the restriction list.
hmm
And then it's like we
Mhm.
finally have green. We have like what was he have what that one person at Ultimate Cup, right?
Yeah.
That topped with a green hybrid deck, and I'm like, okay, finally, green can do something. But I just feel like it's like they're bouncing back to blue green. It works. Let's keep doing it instead of trying to experiment. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, all right,
Right.
we know this is safe. Well, what were you about to say, Fluky, though?
I was gonna say, like, I agree with you about if it was a blue or red, it'd have like increased DP. I didn't think about the security plus one. That's a good idea, possibly if it was blue and red. But green, isn't that normally typically a staple? Piercing is normally a staple in green. Like, I
Correct.
remember
Yes.
earlier crew decks and everything like that. They always had
Yes.
the
Some
piercing
form of
effect on it. So,
piercing. Yeah, like a lot of green decks were like piercing, or did I swing over a Digimon, or did I suspend a Digimon? Well, nowadays it's more green. It's like, did I suspend something?
Yeah.
Uh,
Even with JP Shibayama with the green hybrid, its inheritable effect as a tamer, as you know, this
yeah,
Digimon gets piercing, and all of the Metal Kabuterimon, for example, even gives that suspension effect that you want to beat over something.
right. So yeah, no, like honestly, it feels like one of those safe color combinations where they don't
Agreed.
have to
mhm.
try that hard, right?
Mhm.
And like seeing more blue green support, Davis. I'm glad they're finally giving Davis a alternate art in that like Tamer pack or whatever they're trying to do with that. Because now I'm like, all right, so I guess I should never get rid of my Davises. I guess I should always have 3 play sets. It feels like
Accurate, because you'll want to be able to play, oh, I want to play Imperial Dramon. Oh, I want to play the Exomon deck too.
Salon deck now.
But I
Yeah,
only have 4 Davises.
Davis. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Oh wait, buy too many play sets of Davis because it seems like you can't. Blue can't go wrong with having a Davis as a tamer. Blue just can't go wrong. If you don't know what tamer to use, memory tamer to use, Davis is a good choice, and I'm all for it.
It's almost
And
always an inherent +1 too.
yes, and at the same time, now we just look at the actual character, the main Digimon, Exomon itself is right under it on DigimonMeta.com. Again, for anybody on Spotify or anyone on that's watching a YouTube video, we are using DigimonMeta.com. Shout out to them for just being able to consistently just, I say it, translate all of these cards and when they get announced as fast as possible. Really appreciate it. Really makes a lot of this podcast possible. And now we're going to go over to Exomon. It is a level 7 blue-green Digimon. It's the secret rare, one of the secret rares in the set. It has a play cost of 15. It has 15,000 DP. It can Digivolve from a blue or a green level 6 Digimon for 5. And it can also Jogress from a green level 6 and a blue level 6 for 0 cost. So preferably, if you can and everything, just do that instead since it's free. Um, and then its first effect is when Digivolving, put 1 green or blue Digimon with Drummon in its name to the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. And if you Jogress Digivolved, you may play 1 green or blue Digimon with 12,000 DP or lower and Drummon in its name without paying its memory cost. And then the second effect is both turns, once per turn. When this Digimon is suspended, unsuspended, and suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So yeah, just Exomon really leans heavy into the green part of it, in my opinion. Just suspending stuff constantly, giving a whole new meaning to just blocker, in my opinion, because like at a certain point, it feels like blockers kind of faded away and weren't really important since everybody was able to pop something. But now we're getting these pseudo blockers, the blockers that don't really say blocker as a keyword, but they basically do the same thing, minimize the amount of damage you take in a turn with just
Hmm.
different ways. What do you guys think of Exomon?
Yeah, like something I've realized, like, so I was reading ahead a little bit. I don't want to spoil anything for everybody out there
Right.
in the
Yeah, there you go.
watching
There
the
you go.
video, listening, and everything. But like that second effect is really powerful because it combos really well with like a card we're gonna read in a bit. But overall, like you said, it does reduce the amount of damage because they can't if it's standing up, they can't beat over it. And also you're suspending, so that means less damage you're taking as well. And it also combos well with the Avalon's Gate as well, because you can stand back up, suspend, like all this stuff
Yep.
on your turn.
And
Just
Devs,
have a better fun time.
Literally.
Devs, one good thing that you did bring up is that we are getting a lot more all turns effects. Because even with Black War Greymon, for example, in BT8, he has the capability to unsuspend if one of the Digimon on your opponent's side is, deleted. So if he
Yeah.
has blocker, you can block, delete something, and then restand him for another block if you wanted to, if you had blocker Greymon, just as an example. In terms of, when I first saw this card, I thought to myself, what are some really good targets out there that are Digimon with Dramon in their names that are in the blue and green category? We know that there's Imperial Dramon, but
Mhm.
what else is there that could be playable that has 12,000 DP or less?
I mean, if we're thinking about it like that, if we're going into we could always talk about Core Dramon, the security Digimon, right? So, a
Hmm.
lot of people keep saying, a lot of with Core Dramon, it's a hit or miss because if he's not in security, then you're not really using this effect unless you're able to play six, which requires tamers and this, that, and the other. But now Exomon kind of ignores that. Now you can Digivolve and not feel bad about Digivolving into a Core Dramon. I'm talking about the one from the All Fours structure
Hmm.
deck, if I'm correct. The one that says on play, draw two cards. So now it becomes like you get a new body, play a Core Dramon, draw two cards if your hand's bad, right?
Hmm.
Try to fix your hand just a little bit, right? I mean, it's 12,000 DP or less. Bringing out a level four. Sometimes it might be necessary, sometimes it might not. But it's better than just bringing out nothing, right?
Hmm.
And
There
that was the
is
main one I was thinking about, at least.
There is one Digimon that actually spiked in price recently on TCG Player, and it was actually kind of surprising because it's not a card you'd expect to see going up in price. The Alt Art Metal Seedramon from BT1, or Special Booster 1.0, I should say.
Mm,
Hmm.
Because it is less than 12,000 DP, you can play a green or blue Digimon with 12,000 DP or less. So when you play it, you can activate the on play effect for that Metal Seedramon.
and then bounce something, right? Or was it
Ooh.
Return up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the hand.
Mm-hmm.
nice? That's a good point.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
By the way, I just a little bit off topic, a little bit more of a tangent and everything. I am surprised Metal Siegemon did not get any new cards at
That was
all.
one of the big things that, there was a lot of talks and speculations considering we got a Mega Seedramon.
Yep.
I don't know if there's a
Plesiomon
Seedramon?
too. We got Plesiomon, right?
Yeah, we did get Plesiomon, but I think
Yeah,
the main, contingent Digimon that everybody was looking for in Dragonic Roar or Dragon's Roar
right,
was that Metal Seedramon.
right.
To be fair, I don't think there's a Machine Dramon though either.
No, there is not to my knowledge. It's like how do I say it? It's like yes, we have a few new Digivolution lines,
Mhm.
but I would prefer they kind of leave certain Digivolution lines alone, right?
Right.
Because a lot of people were just like, why do we have more VMons, this, that, and the other? Why do we have more VMons? Why do we have a new, entirely different Imperial Dramon line? Da 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 da.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I saw someone where you were like, to be completely honest, if you take out the entire VMon line and just put a different Dramon card, it would be fine because it
Yeah.
doesn't. How do I say it? It doesn't have to be VMon. I think that Bandai is like, okay, so what should we do? Okay, so just to be safe, let's include another Pokemon. Just to be
Yep.
safe, let's make sure we hit the popularity contest. And I'm like, sometimes that's not needed, in my opinion.
The interesting thing about that Vmon selection was, red and purple. This was completely experimental. This was the
Yeah,
experimental, color choice that they went with because there's nothing right now that really does red purple besides Gallantmon, Chaos Gallantmon, McGee Dramon, that
yeah,
kind of
that's
Digivolution
really
line.
it, though, right? To my knowledge, that's it, right? Because I don't think there's anything else that really does red purple like that, or does it justice, other than the Gallantmon support.
You have a mild, very mild transition point between that Skull Greymon from I believe EX1 that comes from a red you can come from a red
Yeah,
Digimon, but I don't think it's really that viable considering there's no Black War Greymon in purple. There's no Machine Dramon in purple either.
and that
You're
EX1 Skull
right.
Gray kind of felt more like it was just Agumon support to me,
Yeah.
not just red purple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I agree. But you're talking to the guy who used, EX1 Tyrannomon to cross between Agumon and into Eosmon. So
So
there's sometimes the fact that you use cards just as a transition point from one
yeah,
color to another.
Hmm.
I feel that.
I feel that
And
too. It
there's
just feels
nothing
like they're making
there's
it more
nothing wrong with that
consistent.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did say we were talking about rares and above, but just real quick, we're gonna look at Corgimon because it has a new keyword apparently. So
Heck yeah.
basically, evade is gonna. We're not sure what it's gonna be translated to here in in the states and everything. But Corgimon, he is a uh, blue level 4 with play cost of 5, 6,000 DP. Can Digivolve from a blue or a green Digimon for level 3 Digimon for 3 memory. And it has the special evolution to be able to Digivolve from a Dracomon for 2 instead of 3. And it has the new keyword evade. When this Digimon will be deleted, you may suspend it to prevent deletion. And its inheritable reads all turns while this Digimon has Dromon or Exomon in its name, it gains evade.
Yeah,
I
that's basically what I was. Oh, sorry.
oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's basically what I was getting at with like the suspension on your turn, because like you're
Yeah.
if you don't want to take damage or something like that, will die from it or whatever, you can just unsuspend it to dodge it and like all that stuff. My bad. Suspend it to
Oh
dodge
no,
it
go
and
ahead.
switch it
My
back and
main
forth.
my main worry, I was just like, I wonder if yellow still gets around. Does
I
neg
believe
DP still get
I
around it?
believe it would, because it can only
Mm,
prevent the deletion for one
right,
instance when it's suspended. But
Mhm.
since its DP is still 0 at resolution, then it would be removed from the
Uh,
board. Kind
that's
of like
more.
Blitz Omni, where if you neg Blitz Omni to minus 14,000 and it becomes 0, you can trash the level 6 Digimon on it, but afterwards it's still at 0, so it just gets deleted anyway.
Right,
that makes sense.
I
which
mean
isn't a
that's
bad thing.
No.
that's
By the way,
that's just
it's
what we're
just
anticipating right now.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
over
That's
anticipating at a certain point, right? Because I don't even know if yellow negs DP like that in the future, like that, because they barely do it now.
they might change it in the future.
They might change, right? Of
I
course,
mean,
it's
I think
nothing to
they're.
really worry about, but hmm,
No, I was gonna
go
say
ahead.
like I think they may have to just because like the way that they're changing a lot of different archetypes, just to, like try to make one more viable than the other, and they don't want to like
hmm
overstep stuff. Like just I don't know. It feels like they're just like trying to avoid stepping on their own toes again, like this stuff.
Yes. It does feel like they're trying to learn from the mistakes and everything. And create like they're not just dropping new keywords every set. That's my biggest thing that I
Exactly.
like, right? It's just
I
like
mean,
Uh,
that'd
as
be
long
so
as you're
bad if
not
they
trying
did.
to oh yeah. No, like I wouldn't I don't think I would be a DigiTuber and everything if they were dropping new keywords every set. I would have been really upset. I don't think I would be recording so many videos. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If they were like, yeah, here's a new keyword, here's a new mechanic, here's a new gimmick every single set. No, I'm good.
I think
Right.
if every color got a new gimmick every set, there would be issues. But it's good that, for BT8, for example, this is where we were introduced to DNA Digivolutions as in general. And it wasn't
Right.
just one color got it. It was spread across everybody.
Right. And again, I'm just really excited to see how they're able to continue supporting everything instead of supporting one specific archetype, this, that, and the other. Because I
hmm
mean, like a lot of people fail to realize that Bandai actually, like, yes, it might seem like they play favorites to certain colors and all that, but in reality, compared to other card games, I don't think so. Like, I just feel like they're not trying to ruin certain stuff. They might have gotten a little bit scared when when Sarismon was tier 0. They started introducing, of course, like over time, we now have just anti rookie rush and anti security control decks to make sure that the game is still fun. So honestly, I think they're doing fine. But
hmm
hey, a lot of this is just coming down to when we get these cards into our hands, we'll have a better idea in general of how good they're actually doing.
Agreed. And with Japan, they typically have a best of one format versus, in North America, we do a best of three. So that alone changes a little bit of how we play from game 1 to game 2, because if you're not familiar with something, or
Yeah,
you're surprised by the secret tech or
right,
this wombo combo strategy, you'll know it the next game when you play it again.
right.
Exactly. But like you said, since we're so different, they're just like, well, can't do much about this. They got me. So
Mhm.
Because a really good
that's fun.
example of that was Mug the Reaper being meta and they're defining their meta in JP, but over here it's not doing that hot because we're playing really aggressively
Mhm.
in the stakes and everything. Which again, not hey, I'm completely fine with that. I'm completely fine with Mother Day Reaper not defining an entire meta and changing up how people build their decks entirely just to beat the
Yeah.
deck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at least on my side, I feel like that one's a good example of like how differently we play. But
Like,
yeah, moving on. Oh, wait, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say like I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh and everything like that. I'm really happy
Mhm.
to see that whatever decks coming from JP that's dominating their meta isn't just coming into
Dominating
ours and just
ours.
dominating immediately. Like I'm really a fan of that. Just
It's like
saying.
Same.
a few like maybe like one or two decks will be like okay yeah we'll be like okay we'll take this one, but everything else we're like all right we're gonna leave that one alone. But this one seems fine. It's like we're picking and choosing what becomes meta
Exactly.
because of like and like to be honest, I remember a lot of times with JP they just liked certain Digimon. So that's how they just kept playing it over and over again. It didn't matter how much it was competitively viable. If it was a
Mhm.
fan favorite, they would just choose it.
Yeah, that's true. I think I noticed
Yeah.
that as well. It's like, hey,
A
I
lot of
like
times
this
over
deck.
here, yeah, a lot of times over here, it's like whatever people are comfortable
Wins.
with. Yeah,
Whatever
and that
what wins, like,
wins.
constantly and consistently, that's what people wanna play. That's why Imperial Dramon is popular, that's why Yellow Hybrid is popular. We thought Blue Hybrid would die with BT8, and
And then people
boy, were
figured
we
out.
wrong.
Yeah, people figured, dude, I'm telling you, everybody was like, huh, well, like, I'm not learning anything new. I swear, I feel like a lot of blue hybrid decks players were just like looking at the meta and said, "Nah, I'm just gonna keep playing blue hybrid." Like, and they just like, "Eh,
They
if it
looked
ain't
at
broke."
literally BT8 and they were like, "Oh, I like this new option card. I'll put 2 of those in." And that's all they changed. That's
Yep,
literally all they changed.
it was like the whole thing of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
The mentality of that,
Mhm.
and now they're just back like wildfire. So right under it is Slayer Dramon. He's a rare. He looks really cool. His art's really cool, at least, and he is a level 6 blue Digimon, has a play cost of 12,000 DP, can digivolve from level 5, blue or green for 4, and has a special digivolution cost from digivolving from Wing Dramon or Ground Dramon for 3 instead of 4. His first effect reads all turns, once per turn. When this Digimon is suspended, unsuspend this Digimon. Oh, so you don't just love blue. And then second effect, start of opponent's main phase. By suspending one of your Digimon with Dromon or Exomon in its name, your opponent must immediately attack with one of their Digimon. And the inheritable effect reads, start of opponent's main phase. By suspending one of your Digimon with Dromon or Exomon in its name, your opponent must immediately attack with one of their Digimon. Attack where? Not sure. Um, I'm not sure if it's they can still choose where the attack is, but that's completely fine with me.
I think
Uh,
they're forced to attack
uh-huh.
however they can. They choose whether it's player or specific
Mhm.
Digimon. I don't know if there's a way to give this inheritable blocker, because if there is a way to, then it's kind of a, oh yeah, there's a green Cordramon that gives it blocker.
Okay. So we got evade, we have blocker,
Yeah,
and then we have, you know, just just attack something. I dare you. It's going to get blocked, and if I die, I'm going to use evade because I keep unsuspending myself.
correct. Bandai is also doing a lot more, interestingly enough, with their rares, because this isn't the first EX card that we've seen that looks like it could be a super rare. I opened a lot of EX2 boxes, and Marine Angemon was one of those cards that I'd be like, "Oh, this is not a super rare; it's a rare."
I feel like they're having fun with it too. It's like because I feel like that was a complaint very early on of just like some of these rares are good, some of them are just completely meh. And now they're just like, okay, no, seriously, we want y'all to care about rares as well,
Yeah.
not just super rares and above. Like I remember, what was it with you, Fluky? We were talking about certain option cards, the best option cards being rares.
Yeah, I think we were. I think we were exactly talking about that. Like when what card was it? It was like that new. It came out with Pyrodramon, I think. Pyrodramon and everything.
Megadeth.
Yeah, I think it was like one of that card. Maybe we were
Yeah,
talking
it
about
would be
Yeah.
that.
Megadeth.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
just like talking about it. We were just like, it seems like the best option cards are just usually rares. But I'm like, okay, cool. But what about the Digimon? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing. Like, yes, the option cards that are rares are cool, but like, can we have good Digimon that's not just a super rare, this, that, and the other? Like, because it also makes the game a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit easier to financially get into if we have better rares in the future. Like, yes, it's not, there's no problem, of course, with
Hmm.
super rares being, the important thing and why you buy the set and everything, but like at least make it a little bit easier to play the game by having a few rares, a few good rares, a few good uncommons, a few good commons, instead of it only being, I only care about super rare. I only care about this specific option card and I'm done.
Hmm.
what was it? I
That's
was
the
gonna say
biggest
like
thing.
I was gonna
Hmm.
say I agree with you. Like I wish they did do that because like it make more people viable for competitive matches and everything. You wouldn't have to like break the bank to play a deck. But let's be honest, no one goes for the option cards because they're not recognizable. Like they're special moves from a Digimon, but
Hmm.
like the Digimon, that's what they want. Like at the end of the day, I want Slayer Dramon, I want Beelzemon, I want those guys. I don't care about his special attack sometimes. I just want to see that cool dope art they're giving us. Which don't
I
get me wrong, sometimes the option cards do have dope art, but like at the end of the day, you're mostly playing more Digimon than option cards anyway. So I understand where they're coming from.
Unless
I
you're
st-
playing like that security control variant that's just like
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
80% option cards, and you just sit there and you're like, all right, go ahead and attack my security. I don't care.
You
Yeah,
know
we
what I
don't talk
really
about that.
wish that they would still do? In the dash packs they had like those, yeah, the alternate art option cards. I really still wish they would continue that. I know that we have that summer promo thing right
Hmm.
now with buy two boxes, get an alternate art, option card,
Samadhi Santi is one
and an
of them.
absolute blast,
Absolute
Somebody
Blast.
Santi,
Uh,
and
uh,
Qual
yeah,
Eyes,
Qual Ice Blast, the yellow
yeah,
one. The
and
better
then
ones are in the special box. I think.
is that
I
even
want
out
to.
yet?
I don't think it's out yet, but that's where we're going to get the Judgment of the Blade, the
The
Fly
fly
Bullet,
bullet, yeah,
and then
fly
there's
bullet.
one other card that I can't remember.
I can't remember it either. Don't worry. I only cared about Fly Bullet and Judgment of the Blade.
That Judgment of the Blade looks freaking nice, though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, like I just feel as if maybe if they had more alternate art option cards, we would care more. Maybe. Just a thought. I just feel as if I'm surprised that we're using option cards as much as we are now. There's still a lot of decks that have the security control aspect and everything. But a lot of the best option cards cost more than like seven, or will
Hmm.
cost like six. And then like now we have memory boost, which is a whole different beast in my opinion, because not only are they option cards, they have delay, right? So I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, how do we make option cards good without having delay, without being seven costs? You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest thing. I feel like, of course, time will only tell. I do feel like Avalon's Gate is a good start
Hmm.
to have two different effects to, be relevant to the deck and everything. But like saying it's like saying, yeah, Megadeth is cool and a good option card. I'm like, yes, yes, duh, right? Um, like, yes, Megadeth is a good card. Cool, cool, cool. It's like,
With
can we
Av-
have more? Yeah.
with
Mm,
Avalon's Gate, one thing that I liked about it, and I know we're jumping back to that one just real quick.
yeah, no
Um,
problem.
if you have a Digimon with Exomon in its name, you resolve both effects versus one.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that they've done in the next set that we're getting in, just a week or two, Gaia Force Zero, for example, lets you reduce the memory cost of the card by two if you have a Digimon with X antibody in the Digivolution sources. So,
Mm,
they are coming out with cards that kind of hit those specific caveats. I think, some of our earlier ones would be like, Judgment of the Blade, equipped to, a Royal Knight Digimon or Digimon with Huckmon in its name. That can attack, your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. Those are
right.
just examples of, cards that specifically, if a Digimon of that specific type or has an inheritable source underneath it, gives it more value.
It's like having these option cards be like tied to an archetype might be
Yeah.
the way to go.
Yeah, because even with what Bandai has been doing, they've started coming out with cards that say, oh, like with Exomon, for example, or sorry, not Exomon, Slayer Dramon. Slayer Dramon, for example, it says evolution from Winged Dramon or Ground Dramon for a memory cost of 3. We're already getting black text on there that says, you know what? If you don't want to Digivolve from the specific Digimon in the Digivolution line, you don't have to. But if you do, we'll make a deal with you and make it a good
Right.
deal. So moving forward, we might get black text and option cards that say, on play, if you have Slayer Dramon on the field, this option card's reduced by 1 or 2.
Yeah, I feel as if the special Digivolution text and everything, I feel like that's a good. I think they should keep going with that because it's
Agreed.
not becoming this whole thing of like it's tribal friendly, right? A lot of
Uh huh.
people just love tribal decks in this
Uh huh.
community, and also it's this becoming one of those things of like now more legitimate. Like, okay, remember, like at the very beginning of Digimon, I remember having to explain that no, you don't need a Greymon to Digivolve or Agumon. Now it's like
Mm-hmm.
you'll benefit. You'll benefit if it's this
Yeah.
specific one.
If you do it,
Yeah,
there's
here's a
more
cookie.
value to it.
Here's a little cookie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
did you follow the
There's a
Digivolution
cookie.
line? All right, we're gonna keep going. There's not a lot of rares and above. There's a lot of commons and everything. If you guys want to read that again, there will be a link in the description of the YouTube video to DigimonMeta.com. And of course, if you're on Spotify, sorry, you're gonna have to search it up the hard way and just search out DigimonMeta.com. I scrolled down all the way to Volcanic Drama. It's a super rare. It is a red level 6 Digimon with a play cost of 12,000 DP. It can Digivolve from a level 5 red or a level 5 black Digimon for 4. Its first effect reads, on play, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. If this effect fails to delete your opponent's Digimon, your opponent cannot play Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. And then it has the second effect that reads, when attacking, when you have a tamer, trash the top card of your opponent's security. So, to be honest, I'm not sure about the on play effect. So, I'm hoping that maybe there's a option card or like a tamer that might reduce it, to be
I am
completely
looking
honest.
through all the cards right now just to double check that because 12 is a lot of memory to commit to
Yes,
the board. We're all familiar with Volcanic Dramon from, when Special Booster 1.0 and 1.5 came out, and there was,
yeah,
the meta prevalence of Rookie Rush, and Volcanic Dramon was one of those hard counter cards at the time against that deck. The new Volcanic Dramon, kind of ups the ante a little bit by being 1 memory more, but also increasing the amount of DP by another 1,000.
I feel as if I would use this card in a red or black deck just for its second effect to trash the top card of opponent's security. But playing it from hand, I'm not completely sure if I would ever do that unless I'm breaking completely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but even
Um,
then, when attacking, you trash the top card of your security, but the problem is you have to invest 4 memory into it. It's not
yeah,
like Black War Greymon, for example, where you get value off of it by deleting Digimon or Tamers, especially, in a format where Tamers might continue being, the meta prevalent thing.
right. But I mean, like, sometimes for memory cost and everything is okay. I do wish that maybe it was on play or wouldn't digivolving at the same time instead of it just being only on play.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because I
Well,
just can't imagine giving your opponent 10 during EX3 and that being a good idea. That's my biggest thing. I can't get over the fact that if I give an Imperial Digimon deck 10, I basically just lose if they have a certain amount of cards in their hand. They have the
Yeah,
right
it's
Yeah.
amount.
true.
Because they can
Mhm.
just play out, 2 rookies, Digivolve off of them, go into
Yep,
Imperial or
yep.
Pyildramon, and then
Just keep going that way if
yeah,
they have a board for it, right? It's just like on like having level sixes with so high play cost and everything, and using their own play revolves around them not having anything on field or being extremely early game or like very late game where nothing's established or just mid game when nothing's established. Like play on like having on play level sixes is a cool concept, but I just feel like it's a concept of a bygone era where Megazoo was prevalent, but now
mhm.
it's so dangerous to give someone more than sometimes it's more dangerous to give people five
Or
memory.
even put them to 3, just even 3
Yeah,
memory can be just, if they don't have a memory fixer and you put them to 3, they might potentially, start putting out
just do all their
everything they
combos.
need. 3 is already enough for, even a Pyil or Imperial Dramon deck to
Yeah.
combo off for 1, 2, 3,
If they already have
4.
if a Jawgrass and Protomon deck has three memory and they already have a XVmon and Raising, then you just
Yeah.
gave them a free sting. You just gave them a free sting line, right?
Yeah,
And now they can
exactly.
just go
Mhm.
into Pale Dramon and basically do the equivalent of what 3 damage just because you gave
Yes.
them three.
Yeah, and that's just, going XVmon, play the Sting, Pyildramon, double swing with,
Yep.
that Pyildramon, and then, at that point you've probably already plussed not 1 but 2 or 3 cards potentially, depending on what your bottom
Right.
evolution source was for that XVmon.
Right. Or gain more memory with Labramon, this, that, and the other. So like when giving three is questionable, why would I pay 12 and give someone potentially 10? Or let's say give them nine if I'm at three, right?
Mhm.
Why would I do this at this late in the game when this game is established and everything? Why would I do this
I do have a
when it's so
quick tangent
dangerous?
for you. I do
Mm,
have a
what
quick
is it?
tangent for you. If you scroll down 2 cards to Lava Garudamon, that Digimon does have an inheritable that if this Digimon has an on-play effect, gain 1 memory. So that
Mhm.
does help you from that 4 cost for Volcanic Dramon and convert it to a 3 cost. So if you have a memory fixer, you still keep it on your
No,
turn.
you are completely right. Completely right. Okay. Wait, does Jazza, I can't, these names, these names are crazy.
Jazari? Jazarimon?
Jazarimon?
Jazarikmon?
Z-
Da, da,
I
da,
don't
da.
even know.
Jazz hands.
Zarichmon?
Jazz
I would
hands,
go
I
Jazz
don't
hands
know.
mod.
I'm gonna go with Jazarikmon for the time being.
Zazark, right.
I like that. I like that. Jazaric.
Okay, Jazarikmon. So the supporting level fives for Volcanic Dramon is
Yeah.
Jazarikmon, level 5, Black Digimon, play cost of 8, 7,000 DP. Digivolves from level 4, Black or level 4, Red Digimon for 3. Its on play effect reads: De-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. After that, you may play one
Kurihara Hina.
Kurihara. Okay, Kurihara
That one
Hina
we can
from
say.
your hand at no cost. Okay, do we see Kurihara Hina? Can you play Volcanic Dramon with that Tamer?
It doesn't do anything.
Dang it. All right. And then
So,
like and then inheritable
Kuri
effects is just your turn while this Digimon has an on play effect. It gains superior attack +1.
so
So the
Kuri
opposite. Mhm.
Kurihara Hina, if your opponent has a Digimon in play, gain 1 memory.
Mhm.
And then when one of your Digimon
That's it.
digivolves into a Digimon with Rock Dragon, Earth Dragon, Machine Dragon, or
Mhm.
Sky Dragon in its traits, by suspending this tamer, activate one of that Digimon's on-play effects. So you need her to activate the on-play effects.
Isn't she the tamer from the app game?
Uh,
Let's search it up. She looks similar. I think I recognize this character from the
my
like the
video game
one with
knowledge is absolutely weak.
Harrismon.
Is Lynx Navigator and Digimon Lynx.
Yeah,
Remember
okay.
Links? That was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is from the Harrismon app game, right? Because that's not Digimon Links.
Yes.
That's Re-Arise, isn't
Okay.
it?
Oh no, that's Reruns. Okay, I might be wrong. I'll be wrong. He said Link, Digimon Links, Proposers. Anyway, like,
I'm on the
okay,
wiki. It just says is Link's Navigator in Digimon Links. So that
Links.
is the game.
Okay,
Say Re-Arise was the one with Harrismon, so if we're taking it from that one, then that's Re-Arise. But Links, you might be right if Navigator is just in that one. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I
Either
haven't
way,
played any of those games, so sorry, another
so
quick tangent.
no,
that's
no,
all
no.
good.
All right, so we're gonna actually just skip all the way down to Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode. Again, Dragon's Roar has basically been completely announced. There's no secrets other than like alternate arts and everything. So if you guys want to look at all this stuff and everything on your own time, just go to DigimonMeta.com. I also have links in the description. But the last guy, the second secret rare, is Digimon Fighter Mode. It's a level 6 purple and red Digimon with a play cost of 13,000 DP, and it can digivolve from a level 5 purple or red Digimon for 5, and it has special Digivolution to digivolve from a dragon mode for 2 cost. So basically, with the special Digivolution, you can also probably just play this in blue-green if you really wanted to. Not sure how cool that idea might be and how much it would work, but hey, something. Its first effect is just piercing, and its second effect is when digivolving. By returning one Imperial Digimon Dragon Mode from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of your deck, all your opponent's security effects cannot activate during this turn. And then it has the third effect on deletion. You may play one Wormmon and Vmon from your trash while paying its cost. I like it. I really do like
I
the
like the art
purple,
too.
red. Yeah, the art's really cool. Um, I do wonder,
Is your concern
like,
about the security effects? Is it option card only, or is it everything, including security Digimon,
yeah,
Digimon
yeah.
like
I
oh god,
wonder. I do
Chikurimon?
wonder. Yeah, I do actually wonder because I'm not sure if it's option card specific or Digimon specific. It just says all of your opponent's security effects cannot activate during its turn. So if
If
this is
it's
correctly translated, right,
uh-huh.
I'm like, dang, is
That's
this a
even
better delicate plan?
Yes.
Yeah,
it attacks.
it's a
It
delicate
literally.
plan that can punch you in the face.
I know, right? That hurts.
That hurts. So yeah, no, like I do
Wormmon.
wonder why it has piercing instead of retaliation because it's purple and red. Because I,
So
I
That's a good
still
question.
attribute piercing to green, not
correct.
purple or red.
Yeah.
Red has a little bit of it, and the only piercers that do have it would be like Breakdramon or the Garudamon from BT1. But it's a
Right.
very random effect. The other thing is, um, my hypothesis for this Digimon specifically would be the fact that, uh, depending on how you Evo, you
Hmm.
could potentially swing into one of your opponent's Digimon, um, just from one Digivolution. Because I know we're not reviewing over it right now, but if you Digivolve into a Flame Dramon, for example, from the new set, you can DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon and play into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its DNA Digivolve cost, which is 0. So then when you go into that Pail Dramon, when DNA Digivolving, you may play a Dino Beamon from your trash without paying its its play cost. So you basically play a free Dino
Hmm.
Beamon, which once you play that, you can DNA Digivolve immediately with your Flame Dramon's inheritable effect to go straight into that Imperial Dramon. And then once you Digivolve into that Imperial Dramon, your opponent chooses one of their Digimon, and you destroy all of your opponent's Digimon other than the chosen Digimon, and then you blitz. But then when you attack with this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP, and then you can Digivolve it into a fighter mode in your hand for its Digivolution cost.
Mhm.
Fluky, do you
That's
remember when we were making fun of Yu-Gi-Oh for having complicated combos?
oh yeah,
We're
And now
getting there.
we're getting
We're getting
Digimon's
there.
almost there.
Yeah.
dude. I remember when I was learning how to play Jogris, I thought that shit was
I thought that was kind of complicated. This just blew it out the water.
Yeah, no, like, hey man, did something die? All right, cool. You plus? What? You plus? All right, cool. Hey, did something happen? Yeah, I'm gonna do that Digivolve now because I want to. Oh, okay, that's cool. I can't stop you anyway. And anyway, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do this. I'm gonna also, I'm gonna jump
it's
off
the
this window, and if you can't cure cancer, I win.
it's the chain of events that I looked at where I'm like, okay, so if you push a Vmon out from Rays and you have a Shademon out already on the field, and you have a Dino Beamon in your trash, and you have a Pyildramon, Imperial Dramon, and Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode in your hand, then you can climb all the way up in one turn.
And and like the best part about these dual color Digimon is the fact that you can just run any of these staple tamers and option cards for those colors, right? So now it's like
Yeah.
looking at it at fighter mode, right? You can benefit from just still having tie, red tie. You can
Yeah,
benefit from having purple mat. You can benefit from calling from darkness. You can benefit from Deathclaw, cards that we already have now that's it can just come out of nowhere and just be tech cards for these dual colored decks and everything. And I'm all here for it. I'm all here for just keep a playset of everything of whatever color you play because you never know when it actually might be coming handy. Who knows?
yep.
That is the
Now,
biggest thing. I like that about Digimon a lot.
Now, while I did give a long, lengthy explanation of how to climb into this Imperial Dramon Fighter mode in basically one turn, the problem is it lies in the color of purple and red. Neither
Hmm.
has good searchability, as far as we know yet, that can really
Yeah.
turbo this out quickly. It's not like, oh, your opponent swings into security, they flip a Davis, and you're like, thank you, because you already have an XVmon in the Rays, and you flipped a Pyildramon and a Stingmon off the top.
I think this relies on memory boost cards still. Well, similar to like a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
even like next format, set nine in a week and everything, it still relies on like a lot of the best decks still use, green memory boost, red memory boost, all
hmm
those stuff. And I feel like this might not be like again, I just feel like delay cards, they're the best option cards we've had, but only because they have a whole different
Set.
they basically just have a whole new keyword,
hmm
adds a little bit of slice of life to every color, searches for whatever color it's looking for, right? And again, like, it's one of those things where I never expect any of these memory boost cards to never be used ever again. Someone will find a way. If someone's working, just put in a memory boost.
hmm
That might help. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? And nothing's wrong with that, of course. It's just I think that might be for red and purple specifically, since they don't have a Davis. Since the only thing they can add to hand is like what they can use Matashita to add a card from trash to hand.
Trash. Yep.
Yeah, like Analog Youth, they can trash cards like that. Maybe Analog Youth makes a return to this deck because it's partially purple and it benefits so much from just having cards in trash. So maybe it's like Analog Youth and then purple memory boost or red memory boost, right? Since everything is purple and red, you can go either or. It just depends on your egg, what color your eggs are, so you can always use it. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward
I,
to it. But I still think they could have used an entirely different Digivolution line
hmm
for this entire deck archetype for the red and purple deck.
Yeah,
I
kind of with
pers-
you on that.
I personally wouldn't have minded another Gallantmon line because,
Mhm.
a more mix with red and purple for that lineup to give you
To be
more
honest,
routes and options. Huh?
that's a good point. It feels like Imperial Dramon came out of nowhere and said, "I'm just going to take your gimmick and make it better." Like, I know what you're doing over there, so anyway, I'm going to do it now. You failed.
Exactly, because they did come up with a purple red Guilmon here, which lets you have that color cross capability now with Guilmon X, and that Growlmon is
Right.
purple red too, which means you can technically go Growlmon X over that Growlmon. There's a purple red War Growlmon. You can cross over that now with the War Growlmon X too. But in general, they kind of just they were almost there, but then we just got a purple McGeedramon at the top, and we didn't get the actual support all the way for Gallantmon.
Yeah, they, who needs Gallantmon, I guess, right?
I get why they did it
Totally.
though, because Gallantmon isn't technically a
A
dragon;
Dromon, yeah,
it's a royal knight. So you
Yeah.
have to kind
yeah,
of stick with the theme of Megidramon. And if
right.
you make Megidramon a really good SR, or well, an SR in general, then since your focus of this entire set is the four great dragons, Megidramon, Magnadramon, Goldramon, and Azulongmon, then you'd have to make them super rares and make them have really good effects too. But as
I
of
do
right now, it
wonder,
looks like they're all rares.
I do wonder where EX4 will go because, to be honest, I feel as if they should probably give a little bit more spotlight to the Seven Great Demon Lords or the Royal Knights. Well, I think the Royal Knights actually might be squared away. I think people are going to get really tired of Jesmon when the structure that comes out, to be honest.
Yes.
Yep.
So like Seven Great Demon Lords, maybe. Just something.
I
Just a
think
thought.
I think you make a good point though with the Royal Knights for the fact that, Jesmon has great support, Omnimon has homes in multiple decks,
Yeah,
Alphamon's pretty much squared away too. But
yeah.
who doesn't really have great support?
What, Lord Knight?
Craniumon,
Um,
Yeah.
Leopardmon.
that's a good
Those
point.
are
Yeah.
those are two those are two Royal Knights that, they don't really fit anywhere. They don't have a home. And with Craniumon
Leopardmon only has
specifically,
one card. Too.
yeah,
He
Craniumon has
does.
only one card, but he has no
Yeah,
searchability. Like, you've got
yeah.
Lord Nightmon's got, the Gladimon, the Kotamon that, helps you
It has the
find your
entire
warrior.
line. Yeah.
Yeah.
While
With
Leopardmon kind of doesn't. And
I mean,
Craniumon.
you have Bastimon, with Craniumon, you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
really have anything in black specifically for him, but you
And
also don't have
searches
anything that
too.
searches for him. That's the
Yeah,
big one.
yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, no, I just feel as if so now that we're done talking about the league specifically and everything, we
Mhm.
can go to the secondary main topic and everything of how important EX sets are to the Digimon card game. Because man, oh man, does it feel as if sometimes it feels as if EX sets are for just nostalgia or for fun while there's a few consistency cards sprinkled in.
Mhm.
But Dragon's Roar does actually make me have hope that they're going to be a little bit more competitively viable. Because if we're being honest, the prices for um, EX sets is usually just the alternate arts, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
I agree.
Like there's not like a lot of incentive to buy boxes for EX1 for me. A lot of times I do stick to just buying the alternate arts online when there's like a bonus box on TCG Player or something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
like when it comes to EX sets, I don't feel the urge to like, how do I say it, buy like three boxes or anything. I sometimes just stick with one just to support a store and just goes to singles. What do you guys think about EX sets?
I think they try to like you said, it's for fun mostly. Like they give
Hmm.
you ideas of what could possibly be coming up and like the next big set, like where they may be headed. Like they're kind of like prototypes per se, just trying to
Hmm.
see what works out, what people gravitate towards, and everything. And then the set after that, that's where like, okay, we know what people want, we know what these decks need. We'll give it to them. That
Because
kind of stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, the alternate arts, of course, they all look amazing. Like of
Mhm.
course, like I'll buy a box and everything, hoping to pull an alternate art. But besides
Mhm.
that, there hasn't been a lot of reason for me to go out of my way to get EX boxes.
I think it depends on your mentality of what you
Hmm.
are as a player. I
Right.
look at it, if you're competitive, do you really need to buy boxes of cards? No, I wouldn't say you really have to. I'm more of a collector mindset, and I'm a playset collector. So for me, I'm like, I'll buy four boxes. Let's take EX1 for example.
Hmm.
EX1 was one of those boxes that I looked at it. I looked at every card and thought to myself, I don't care about 90% of these cards,
Mm.
but I still bought four boxes.
Right. The
They
collection
look
but
has to
pretty.
keep going, right?
But the thing is, 4 boxes should get you close to a playset of, the basics of
Right.
what you
Oh,
want.
sorry.
You get the War Greymons, you get your, uh, Metal Garurumons, maybe your Magna Angemons, or,
Right.
if you're lucky, you might get the Machine Dramons, all
Right.
4 of them, or an alt art. When it ultimately came down to it, I got Analog Use, I got Ice Wall, and then they were like, "We're limiting Ice Wall," and I'm like, "Okay,
All right.
screw
So
you, I
now I
didn't
have
want to run."
like now I have 12 play sets. Like
Yeah, yeah. But the ultimate thing that it came down to was, with EX2, I really loved a lot of the cards that came out in that set. I loved the effects. I loved the buffs that they gave to Guilmon and Gallantmon decks in general. I
right.
like that Beelzemon was more competitive now, and Beelzemon's been a favorite. That one of the thing that surprised me was I'm honestly surprised Beelstarmon wasn't a Digimon with text in its card that says this Digimon counts as a Beelzemon. And I would have been like, great, you have some more flavor text that you can, provide
Right.
searchability and incorporate this into not just a Three Musketeers deck, but you could also incorporate it into a Beelzemon deck.
Right. And Fluky, going back to like what you even mentioned and everything, it does feel like this is the testing ground of, are y'all okay with this?
Mm,
No, yes, maybe. And you know what I'm saying? Like that's the bigger thing
Mm.
too. It's just like I feel as if they're experimenting a lot more with an EX set compared to a regular set. Like,
hmm
yes, certain regular sets will have a keyword or two and everything, but it really does feel like a lot of EX sets have different play styles or different ideas. You know, with like, for example, like with EX2, Skuyamon, right? Isn't, I don't know a lot of decks that would just use option cards that aren't like what removal.
hmm
Sukiyamon was a good example of like how they're just like, okay, so use a plug-in option card. Wait, what are those? All right, cool. So you have multiple, and they can all ignore color requirements as long as you have a tamer. So have fun with that, right? So now I'm using, Digivolution plug-in S, high speed plug-in D, offensive plug-in A, all in this yellow deck, quote unquote, right? And these option cards aren't removal. They're not 7 cost. They're not 8 cost. They're not 5 cost. These guys are like 2 cost. So here's a deck that uses 2 cost option cards reliably, and all of them have like different aspects, right? And then we even look at like you even said, Digi-Panda, is again, it's just like you look at Beelzemon. I never thought we would get to that point where Purple actually does focus on milling their deck instead of just already checking what's in trash.
Yeah.
Isn't this like the first time we have an archetype that says, okay, so did that card get milled when you milled? Okay, cool. So anyway, effect. You know what I'm
Light
saying?
Swords. Light
You're right.
Swords.
Yeah. All right. Light
Oh my
swords. They're
gosh,
finally in the
literally
game.
light swords. Literally light swords. 50
and
effects pop off at once.
and although I do wish Gallantmon was better competitively, I do acknowledge that this is the first, in my opinion, the first control red deck.
hmm
Like truly a control red deck that can just delete stuff just for being there. Like I dare you to have these small guys on field, or even depending on how you set up your deck and everything. Again, it's just like yeah, delete that, delete that. I'm going to swing into that, right?
I
While everything else was like, I'll punch you in the face.
I think EX2s and Fluky is definitely right because if you look at EX1 for example, there was very low, there was a low number of people buying it. It wasn't a popular set, and people, would rather just buy singles than buy boxes. So
Right,
that in turn for Bandai, they looked at EX1 and thought, okay, we screwed up here. We need to make the cards better. So
right,
EX2 is kind of the okay, we're going in the right direction of what people want to see in EX boxes, these side sets, that we thought nobody would really care about because EX2 was very popular. Though granted, I'm going to make a quick quip here that the alt arts for some Digimon are amazing and some are absolute garbage.
I don't, you
Oh
never
yeah.
noticed how much the Digimon card game has a different art style until you see the anime as a card.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh my gosh, dude. Like I never knew how updated the Digimon card game's art style is to,
yeah.
2020 and etc. until you saw a screenshot of the Digimon anime. I'm like, this doesn't even look, oh, that's the original art style. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Like if you look at that box topper Terriermon we got with BT6, and then you compare it to the alt art Terriermon we get in EX2, I'm like, why would you do this? This is ugh, gross.
You just went
And,
backwards. Why?
And to be honest and everything, right? If we go back to EX3 Dragon's Roar, we finally have a delay card that kind of acts like a field spell, basically, in my opinion. The closest thing, right? Because we have like Trial of Four Great Dragons,
Correct.
where it's like a play cost of 8, you know what I'm saying? A main delay, play one card with four Great Dragons and trade from your hand while paying its memory cost. You know what I'm saying? And this is like, yellow, of course, right? Um, but we have something that acts like a field spell. Something. It's
Yeah.
a delay card, but hey, it acts
Yeah.
like
And I think that moving forward, Bandai isn't going to be, adding any new cards. Even though I've talked about like equipment type cards in my What If episodes, I do think that eventually they might do something with that with option cards as well.
one. Right, right. Right now, it kind of feels like they'll add a few different keywords, but then they'll give like already existing keywords like a polish. They'll polish it up a little bit, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
They'll just basically kind of figure out what to do differently with certain keywords while also just giving us sprinkling in a few different ones. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it really does. To me, it feels like the EX sets are just experimentation, and like
Hmm.
nothing's wrong with that. Keep the
No,
game
because
fresh.
it
By all
also
means.
is it's a great way for them to test the waters. And in a side set, it's not 112 cards. With side sets like EX sets, they're typically 74 cards max. And because of
Right.
that, since there's a lower number, there's a less capability for them to create something fundamentally so broken that they have to do something about it. Their main booster sets are kind of where they're doing more testing at this point. I feel like where they're trying to make sure that one deck doesn't overpower all the other decks.
And I'll take that over them breaking the game every step of the way. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I agree. I came from Yu-Gi-Oh, and I saw, with every new introduction of a new archetype of monster, it got
Kind of
very,
crazy.
very crazy.
Yeah.
Zodiac.
Well, yeah. Oh,
You don't have to talk about that.
yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, that was basically it for the podcast and everything. Did you have any shout outs or any new videos that the people can go to and everything? Any want to talk about any of your series that you have on your channel?
Oh, no, I mean, you know the usual. I usually just do, Meta Mondays on Mondays, Tactical Tuesdays on, Tuesdays, and,
Yeah, I hope
What If
so.
episodes on Wednesdays. But I think, with BT9 on the horizon, I'm going to be taking a break from deck profiles and probably focusing more on kind of the set review. And then from there, it'll kind of just be, chill until BT9 drops and back to the grind when it comes to, creating really interesting decks that, you normally wouldn't think about.
Right. So yeah, guys, if you ever wanted to just go check out Digipanda's page and everything, there will be a description not in the comments. And I said it. I said it on YouTube. On the YouTube video, there will be a link to his channel. I'm so good at talking.
No, you're good. And Devs, thank you so much again for hosting and inviting me on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoy this type of content, everyone, please do consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell if there is one for more future content.